Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world today. We welcome you to our next steps for admitted international students with the College of Charleston today, April 14th. My name is Devin Thompson. I am Senior Associate Director for Admissions Events here at the College of Charleston, and we are so thrilled to welcome you all into the College of Charleston family. We have a lot of great information to cover this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, and we want to do so in a way that is helpful to you as you move forward with your next steps to enrollment at the College of Charleston. Just a few housekeeping items. If you will please keep your microphones on mute. That'll help cut down on background noise, but you are welcome to keep your camera on. We know it's always nice to see other fellow admitted students. We will take Q&A towards the end of the presentation today, but we're going to cover a lot of your frequently asked questions throughout the presentation. With that, we're going to get started with our introductions from our panelists and presenters for today's event.
Thank you, Devin. Hi, everyone. My name is Tina McDonald, and I am the Director of International Admission here at the College of Charleston. You've probably seen my name a lot in your email inbox, and it's really nice to be able to put a face to the name today. And I want to personally congratulate you all on this huge achievement in your acceptance to College of Charleston. And I look forward to meeting you all.
Hi, I'm Melissa Ochel. I'm the Associate Director of the Center for International Education, and I work with all of the international students after they've been accepted to the college. So I'm really looking forward to welcoming you to Charleston in August.
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Colombo, and I'm the International Programs Coordinator in the Center for International Education. So working right alongside Melissa to make sure that, you all have access to all of the resources that you'll need and help you feel welcome here in Charleston.
Hello, my name is Eva. I'm an international student ambassador here at the college. I'm also on the women's tennis team. I come from a small town in Austria near Vienna, and I'm currently a senior, so I'll be graduating in May with a bachelor degree in exercise science.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alec Katsikaris. I'm also an international student ambassador. I'm a sophomore this year. I'm a psychology major, part of the honors program, and
Great. Well, thank you everyone for joining us again today. And we want to get started by answering a few questions that are really common with new international students as they're trying to choose where to attend and learn more about what their US university experience will be like. So we're going to feature our two international student ambassadors and have them help us answer these questions for you. So we'll start with the first question. And that question is, why did you choose to enroll at College of Charleston?
So for me, I chose College of Charleston. A big part of that was the atmosphere of the city and the campus itself. It's a really happy place, really happy people, great atmosphere, great environment. The campus is beautiful. And the city of Charleston just kind of reminds me of Europe. It's very walkable. It's really pretty. A lot of historical houses and buildings, and great program to attend. A lot of helpful people, as I've discovered on my years here. And yeah, it's a great environment. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, I can only agree with Alex. It's probably pretty repetitive by now, but it really is a beautiful city, a beautiful campus, and the people are really welcoming and warm, and they'll always help you. So just when I came here to visit before, I just knew that I would feel really like welcome and like kind of like homey here. And another part that played a big role for me was that my sister went here on all her 4 years. So I just knew that it would always feel like family here, and that it's just a great experience here in the city and on the beautiful campus.
Great. So for the next question, another really common question that we get for new incoming students is about your major. So Eva and Alex, how did you choose your major? And throughout this process, what guidance or assistance did you receive in choosing your major?
So for me, I was deciding between exercise science and like an elementary education teaching major. And I really was not sure at all, just because how would you know if you just have never taken a class? So definitely one thing that helped me was just taking a few science classes, and I really liked it. So then I was like, okay, this is definitely going on the pro exercise science list. And then what helped me and kind of like the assistance was definitely like through my family, just talking to them about it, and also the academic advisors here at the college. They really can help you to decide what you think will be best for you, for your future, what you like, because it's really important that you obviously like what you do. And one thing I just asked my friends here at the college and just asked them, like, what do you think? That fit me? And they can, like, really often, like, people at the college that go through the same thing, like, they can really provide you a lot of good feedback to what they think could fit you as a major, and also just talk to upperclassmen about it too.
So for me, I kind of always I wanted to be a psychology major because I took some psychology courses in high school. But something I really want to talk about is the help of the advisors and the counselors who are very hands-on. They really help with course selection, the path that you must follow to like achieve the goal you're aiming for at the 4 years here at the College of Charleston. I, for example, had a meeting with my advisor on Monday, and we kind of talked over my plan, what courses I'm taking, and what I need to do in order to graduate with a good resume and a good course selection for the future.
Great. So one of the most common questions that we get from new international students is, what is life like at College of Charleston? And a lot of students want to know, what is a typical day like for you as a CofC international student? How much time do you spend in class during the day versus doing activities on campus? And what about the weekends? What is there to do on the weekends?
So to answer kind of these in a row, a typical day, typical day for me at least is I usually like to take my classes in the morning. And then I have kind of a more free afternoon after that. I usually like to go play basketball with my friends. There's a lot of open courts and spaces where people play basketball, tennis, even football or soccer. And then I kind of do some homework. And then the great thing about Charleston, like I was mentioning earlier, the atmosphere, it's a very walkable city. There's a lot of restaurants, coffee shops, a lot of places like that that I like to go to either by myself to do some homework or with some friends and just have a good time there. How much time I spend in classes? Well, for me, I would say I like to take about 2 or 3 classes Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and a couple of classes Tuesday and Thursday. So I would say like 2 hours a day, max 3 hours a day are spent in classes. And then activities, like I was saying, I really like walking around Charleston, just exploring the city. There's a lot of great stores for shopping too, if you're interested in that. And then on the weekend, something really great about Charleston is the proximity to the beach. There's, I think, 3 beaches within 20-minute drives, and a lot of students choose to either carpool or split an Uber, and it's really easy to get there. It's a very fun activity for the weekends, and there's a lot of great beaches around the school.
So for me, going off like a non-COVID world, I also kind of like to take a minimum of like 2 classes a day, mostly also in the morning. I just like to get that over with in the morning. And I also always like to schedule like at least like 1 online class. Helps me just to work around my day and not have too much classes to go to in person. So that's one thing that I like to do like every semester. So after like classes, I like to schedule them also like back to back so that I don't have to have too much like downtime between classes. And then since I'm on the tennis team, we have like the time blocked off from like 12 to 4 every day for like tennis, conditioning, strength training, all that. So that time goes to tennis. And then when I get back home, it's pretty much like get fresh, have a snack, and definitely do some schoolwork. Also around like I mean, it depends how busy I'm at that point. Is it 1 to 2 hours every day? And yeah, then like in the evening, like downtime, maybe either cook or just go somewhere out to eat and just, yeah, maybe even like go for a walk. I love going for walks in Charleston. It's so pretty. And how much time is spent in class or doing activities. So yeah, as I said, if it's like 2 classes a day on average, it's like 2.5 hours, depending on if it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Thursday, Tuesday, and doing activities like outside. There's definitely always time for that. Definitely like with tennis, it's a little harder. But then that's what the weekends are for. I definitely enjoy my weekends. I try to have some downtime, try to meet up with friends, either on my tennis team or outside of the tennis team. And I definitely try to work ahead in school a little bit on the weekends too, and do the necessary grocery runs. But there's definitely a lot to do on the weekends, like discovering new coffee places, going out to eat, yeah, going through King Street, just a little stroll. That's always good for the soul. Yeah.
Great. And one thing I'll note before we move on to the next and final question is we do plan to have fully in-person classes next semester. So you can really look forward to that true college experience. Okay, so our final question for Eva and Alex is, do you have any advice for new international students?
So I kind of created a little list. There's 3 points that I want to like point out. One is I always love to tell people, because I'm like a list person, so I like to say create a bucket list. I love having like lists and see, oh, what is there to do. So like a restaurant list, where do you want to go, what food do you like, or like coffee spots. There's so many great coffee spots around Charleston, and they're all like unique in their own way. Or maybe like go to all 3 beaches that there are. That's definitely something that's nice. Or even if you're interested in art, we have great art galleries. So kind of creating like a bucket list that you kind of have with you all through college is definitely something great to have. I have some and I absolutely love them. It kind of keeps me like on point with where I need to go still before I graduate. Another little advice is probably like bring rain boots or a raincoat. Charleston likes to flood sometimes a little bit. It's not too bad. Or you just decide to wear flip-flops. A lot of students do that too. But yeah, don't forget your raincoat and rain boots. That's something. And then the last thing is pretty simple, and everyone tells you that before you come to college, but it really is true. It's just like enjoy every second of it, because even though sometimes like at the beginning of semester it seems so long, it flies by. Like now that I'm a senior, my years here like literally flew by. And yeah, that's why it's important. Just enjoy every library session, enjoy all of that, because the real world hits really soon. So yeah, just enjoy your college years. They're really supposed to be one of your best years of your life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That last piece of advice there is a really important one. Definitely try and enjoy your time here. And then a couple other pieces of advice. One, from a social perspective, my biggest thing would be open. Don't be afraid to reach out to new people, make new friendships. Everyone comes here on the same boat. No one really knows other students, and it's up to you to meet other people and make new friends. For me, for example, something really helped me last year when I first came to the College of Charleston was an international orientation with all of the international students. And that really helped me meet all of them, make some good friendships with some of them. So that's something to look forward to. Being open-minded, saying yes to new experiences, new adventures for sure. And then this is kind of my nerd side talking, but from an academic perspective, I would recommend keeping a planner, staying organized, just remembering all the assignments you have to do, every homework you have to do. And when your tests are, it's important to remember when your tests are. So yeah, that would be my 2 main advice, other than what Ava said, which is probably the most important one.
Thank you both, Eva and Alex. And we are going to save some time for questions and answers at the very end. But while we are on this topic and we have Eva and Alex with us, if there are any questions that anyone would like to ask them, please feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat. And in the meantime, I am going to start sharing my screen to go over the next steps. But please enter any questions that you may have at this time as well. All right, no questions for Eva and Alex at this time? Then I will proceed in talking about your next steps as an admitted international student at CofC. And I'm actually going to refer directly on our next steps checklist, which is on our CofC website. And actually, Devin, maybe you can put this in the chat for students and families to follow along as I move through this. The reason I'm doing it from here is I really want you to know where this information lives, and so that you know exactly what I'm referring to and you can refer it to it at any time yourself. So you'll see here that we have 12 steps. I'm going to go over each of them briefly. And I'm going to start with number one, the first and most important step for your next step as a CofC international student is paying your enrollment deposit. So we have a $400 enrollment deposit that you can pay online via your My Charleston account. And this is what indicates to us at CofC that you intend to enroll in the fall. So you'll see here 4 steps that clearly explain how to do this. And many of you that are viewing this may have already done this. And if that is the case, then that's great. If you haven't, then please refer to this and submit your $400 enrollment deposit as soon as possible. Our deadline this year is going to be May 1st to do that. Now, I referenced My Charleston, and this is a really important thing for you to know and platform for you to access during your time here at College of Charleston. So if I click on this link, you'll see this is the My Charleston homepage. And this is very important for you because this has all of the information related to business services at My Charleston. So what this means is that you'll be able to register for classes, you'll be able to sign up for orientation, and you'll also be able to pay your e-bill through this. Now, for My Charleston, how do you actually log in? So as a first year student, you are going to use your CofC ID, and at College of Charleston, we call this your CWID, your college-wide ID number, and use that as your username. And then your initial password is going to be this formula here. Now, a tip for you as an admitted international student is that your college-wide ID number, your CWID number, is located within your acceptance letter. Okay, but if you have any trouble finding that, then please email us and we'll be more than happy to help you. Okay, so once you log into your My Charleston account, you can access your CofC email account. And this is also really important because once you deposit and tell us that you intend to enroll at CofC, then you will get a lot of important information about your enrollment emailed directly to your CofC email account. Another tip that I have for you as an incoming student is to put your CofC email account on your phone. That way you'll always be updated and you won't miss anything that we send to you via email. On-campus housing. So this is a choice for you as a new incoming student if you want to live on campus or off campus. If you choose to live on campus, then we will have an on-campus housing application for you to submit, and this is through My Charleston, which we talked about earlier. There is a $50 application fee to apply for housing online, and once you do that through My Charleston, you'll actually be led through a very thorough process which asks you a lot of questions about the type of housing that you want to live in on campus, what your lifestyle habits are, what type of roommates you may want. You can actually message and chat with your future potential roommates through our housing application online. We get a lot of questions about whether or not it is required for students to live on campus. It is not required. Even as a first-year freshman, if you choose to live off campus, that is up to you. Please know that we do highly encourage students to live on campus, especially during their freshman year. Part of the reason for that is because we really want you to be able to take advantage of all of the programming that our residence halls offer. There are a lot of studies that show that students do perform much better academically and also integrate socially much easier when they live on campus because you have that immediate campus community and family at your fingertips. But it is up to you. If you do choose to live off campus, there are a lot of off-campus housing options available because we are located right in downtown Charleston in an urban location. But please know that that process of finding off-campus housing will be on your own, and we don't have a separate office for that. The housing application opened on February 1st, so I encourage you to fill out the housing application as soon as possible if you do want to live on campus. We do have specific residence halls that are specifically for first-year incoming freshmen, which is really nice. And that means that you'll be living with all students that are your age and all students that are experiencing their first year at CofC together. Okay, so number 5, register for admitted student events. If you are here now, you can check this off your list. You're doing a great job. But one thing that I'll mention is that if you click on this link here, it will show you a list of all of our past and future events. And I do encourage you to check that out and note those are all virtual events. Everything is recorded, so if you missed anything in the past and want to tune in, you can always look at the video on YouTube, which will be linked on that page. Okay, so for any international transfer students, if you are a transfer student, then you submitted a university transcript with your application. And before you enroll in the fall, you do need to submit the final official transcript that shows your completed courses for this semester. You can email that to us directly to this email address here. And please also note that if you did a foreign credential evaluation, so if you attended a non-US university, then that means you submitted your transcript to us via a foreign credential evaluation company. So please make sure that your final transcript is submitted through us via that route as well. A little bit more about transfer credits. So if you are a high school student and you're entering your first year as a first-year freshman here at CofC, and you've taken any AP classes, so that's advanced placement, IB courses, international baccalaureate, or A-level exams, then please make sure that you submit your final exam results because we want you to be able to get credit for all the hard work that you did in high school in completing these exams. So often your exams are separate from your final high school transcript. So please send them to us via email and we can make sure that those are evaluated for incoming advanced standing transfer credit. So number 6 and number 7 is really to make sure that you're getting the appropriate transfer credit before you register for classes here, and that will really enable you to create an accurate class schedule for your fall 21 first semester here. So number 8, register for new student orientation. This is also done through My Charleston, and for any international students that are intending to enroll on an F1 student visa, an important thing to note, which we'll also touch on later, is that you will be attending 2 orientations prior to the start of classes here. The first one will be this new student orientation, which is for all incoming students, regardless of citizenship or visa type. And this is also done through My Charleston. And I actually have a separate web page here. We have an orientation website, And Devin, if you want to put that in the chat, you're more than welcome to as well. But you can see from this orientation website, and this will be in My Charleston as well, that there are 20 sessions for this online virtual orientation that is taking place this summer. So the first one is on June 14th, and they go all the way up until July 23rd. You can see that the first 4 sessions that are taking place in June, they've actually already closed, they're full. So again, I just highly encourage you to log into My Charleston and register for your new student orientation as soon as possible, because then you can get the date that works best for you. The other important thing is that orientation is really where you'll get started in registering for your classes for the fall. You'll meet with your academic advisor, which is something that Eva and Alex talked about and is really helpful for new students in choosing those courses, learning how to register through My Charleston, and also meeting other new students that are enrolling at CofC in the fall. Number 9 is sending your final official high school transcript. So similar to how we request the final official university transcript for transfer students, for first-year freshmen that are graduating from high school this year, we do require that your official final high school transcript is sent to us directly from your high school. This is how we know that it is a true and official document. Depending on what country and what curriculum you completed, in addition to that final high school transcript, you may also need to take and submit your national exams. So please make sure those are sent as soon as they are completed as well. This verifies for us that you graduated from high school. So that's why this is really important. That's one of the #1 things in order to enroll in university. So many of you may have applied via Common App. So your school counselor, if you did it that way, he or she can simply upload it via Common App, or your school can email it directly to this email address here. For international students, a lot of you may have had to provide proof of English proficiency during the application process if English is not your native language. And you may have already submitted your official test scores during the application process, but if we reviewed your application with your unofficial test scores, then you do need to make sure to send us your official exam scores directly from the examining board. Again, this is how we know they are true and official. So make sure to log into your exam board account online and send them to us if you have not already. Okay, vaccinations. So we require the 3 vaccinations that are listed here from all incoming students in order to enroll and take classes in the fall. So please get started on this as soon as possible. We never want this to hold you up in being able to attend classes, and it will if you don't submit this to us. There is a specific form for uploading your immunization records, and you can access it directly from this link here via our health services office. Again, for international students, we know that sometimes your immunization records are not issued in English. So please make sure to get those records translated by a translation company if they are not, and please submit both the native language and the English version as well. One thing I'll note for step number 11 is at this time, we're not requiring the COVID-19 vaccine in order to enroll in the fall. Okay, my final next step is related to F1 visa students. And for those of you on this call that are intended F1 visa holders, the F1 student visa is the type of visa that allows you to enter the United States and study full-time here for your university studies. So if you are intending to enroll on an F1 student visa, you certainly have already received an email from myself that explains and outlines the documents that are required to receive your Form I-20. The Form I-20 is specific to the F1 visa, and this is the immigration document that allows you to apply for your F1 visa appointment at your local US embassy or consulate. So receiving the Form I-20 is the first step in obtaining your F1 student visa if you don't already have it from attending another US school. In order for CofC to issue your Form I-20, we require financial documentation. So the Form I-20 verifies several things. It verifies your admission to College of Charleston. It verifies your English proficiency, and it also verifies your ability to fund your studies here. So in my email to you, I have sent you our certificate of finance form. This is the form that verifies for us that you have the funds to study as a full-time student, to study and live as a full-time student in Charleston on your F1 visa. So this first page asks you to fill out your personal information. We will mail your I-20 to the address on this form. This lists our estimated cost of attendance for living in Charleston for 12 months as an international student. You can see the breakdown of tuition, room and board, books and supplies, health insurance, and fees. This is not exactly what you will be billed. You will be billed for tuition and of course room and board if you choose to live on campus, and health insurance and fees. But for things like books and supplies, and depending on the residence hall you choose, or if you choose to live on off campus, this total amount will vary. So in order to provide your proof of funding, we will require a bank letter or bank statement. Typically, this comes from the student's parent or guardian, or the student's own bank account. It could be a combination of any of these methods. It could be for a government scholarship that your country's government is granting you. And also note that we will automatically subtract any merit or other departmental scholarship that you received from College of Charleston from this total amount of funding that is required. So the remaining amount is what you need to show proof of funding for. So on this form, you and your parent or sponsor will sign here verifying the documents, and you can see the required information that we need to see on the bank statement or bank letter. These financial documents need to be in English if they are not already. Make sure they have the name of the account bank holder, the date, because it does need to be recent, the currency, and the amount available funds. Okay, so once you send that information to me, in addition to that completed and signed certificate of finance form, then I pass those documents on to our Center for International Education. And I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen right now so that they can talk about what happens next.
Thanks so much, Tina.
You're welcome, sure. And again, please enter any questions in the chat and we'll make sure to get to them.
So Tina will share your information with our office once we hear that you've completed all of your required documents. I'm going to have Stephanie pull up one of our web pages that we find to be helpful for new students. So you will start receiving communication from our office when we have issued your I-20. So right now we're permitted to email them as well as mail them. So you will get an email copy, and then you will get a mailed hard copy in an envelope sent to you via DHL. So you will also get the DHL tracking information sent to you. So we send all immigration documents via DHL so that they arrive in a quick fashion and hopefully make it to you all in one piece as well. So included in that packet is your acceptance letter, your I-20, This year, we're also including the College Reads book. So you will get a book that is required reading for all first-year students. So that book will be included, and you'll get more information about that book from new student programs. So that will be in your packet as well. We are also including SIM cards. So if your cell phone is unlocked, we'll include one option for you to get a US phone number. So we'll have information about that for you as well. We'll refer you to this website to get started. The first, Stephanie, can you click on that applying for F1 or J1 visa? So your first step after you receive your I-20 is to pay the CVIS fee. So you're going to pay the fee, and then you will start looking for embassy appointments. Given the pandemic, visa appointments may be difficult to get in your home country. Normally, it's ideal that you do apply in your home country at the closest US consulate or embassy, but given the pandemic, you might need to look at traveling elsewhere to look for visa appointments. If you need help with that, please let us know. There's a website that specifically talks about visa wait time, so you can check that and see how long it takes for a student appointment at any given location. But we can help you with that. We do encourage you to try to schedule an appointment as soon as you can so that you can get your visa. So the visa is a sticker in your passport. So you have to have your passport, and you will have to give your passport to the US Embassy or Consulate for a period of time while they create the visa for you. Eva and Alex, can I ask you guys, put you on the spot, do you remember your visa appointments? Did they ask you any silly questions? Did they grill you a little bit, we would say?
Yeah, it was, some of them were a little silly, and like, will we like attack the president and stuff like that? They asked me. You just say no and you just keep going. It just ends eventually, but yeah, it's a little annoying, but worth like the trouble you go through for sure.
Yeah.
Mine was actually pretty quick. I think they just asked like 2 or 3 questions. I remember I was really nervous because it's like, what are we gonna ask? But then it was really easy, actually. Yeah.
Good. And we give some tips on our page on what are typical questions that they tend to ask. Basically, they want to know why you picked College of Charleston, what you intend to study, and they want to make sure that you're going to return home afterwards. So F1 status is a non-immigrant, meaning you don't intend to long-term stay officially in the US. So you want to make sure that you're showing ties to your home country and that you plan on returning. So talking about how your parents are still there or other family is important. So part of your communication from our office will also be enrolling you in an online course. So at CofC, we use an online system called OAKS, and that is where a lot of your courses will probably have online content. But Stephanie has created this online course. So this is what we've moved many emails to, is now in a course. So I'm going to let Stephanie explain a little bit more about all the great information that is in OAKS. You won't be able to access it until you have all your credentials and have been accepted. But once you've done that, you'll be able to go through all the content in here.
Yeah, so this content really is just created as a resource for you to help answer some questions that you may have and kind of guide you through the process of coming to College of Charleston. So just when you're in the course and you're on this homepage, you'll see this great picture of all of our smiling faces of new international students from years past. And then you'll come up here and click content. So the first thing I would say is to look at this guide to OAKS course. So this is a helpful PDF that just sort of explains each module. So we call each section a module. And so in pre-arrival resources, it talks about how to apply for your visa, how to pay for your e-bill, registering for orientation, packing, and also talks about our Cougar Ambassador program, which is a really great program where we actually will pair you with a current CofC student, and they'll help answer any questions that you have as you prepare to arrive. And they're just sort of like your first friendly face, first friend you have here on campus, really wanting to support you as you make this transition to life in Charleston. Then in the Life on Campus module, You'll learn more about housing, meal plans, your Cougar card, which is your student ID, but also your ticket to ride the bus for free or use your meal plan, things like that. And then clubs and organizations that we have, over 250 clubs and organizations that you're able to join. So a lot of great information there. In the CofC resources section, we talk more about different offices and departments on campus that you might need support from. So student health services, Center for Student Learning, disability services, and mail services. Then we have a section specific for international student resources. So we talk about how to maintain your immigration status and make sure that we don't get into any trouble there. We talk about employment opportunities, travel signatures, which you would need in order to travel home, how to get a driver's license here if you want one, and how to get a social security number here if you desire. Then a little bit more fun module, we talk about life in Charleston. So recommendations on where to shop and where to eat, different fun activities that you can do here in Charleston on your free time. And then we have a section or a module for final tasks. So uploading any documents that we need, submitting your travel plans so that Melissa and I know when you plan to arrive. We do typically greet all of you at the airport and give you a ride to campus. And so we like to know when you're arriving so we can plan for all of that, and information is there. And then completing your questionnaire for us to be able to match you with a Cougar ambassador with at least some shared interests. So let me go back to the contents. You'll see, like I said, the different modules that we discussed. There's a few additional pieces here as well. The Back to the Bricks plan will focus on it'll connect you with the CofC website where there's more information on COVID and how CofC is responding during the pandemic. We'll also have a section on welcome events. So all of the fun things we plan to do with you right when you arrive here on campus. We have not only the International Student Orientation, like Alex mentioned, but we go to the beach and we have an ice cream social, and really just spend that first week helping you feel at home here and connect with us and your fellow students. So this is just a really great resource. Any question that you do have, I would highly recommend that you look in here first. And then of course, Melissa and I are always here to support you and answer any questions that you do have. Did I miss anything in there, Melissa?
No, so I'll just talk quickly about our tentative schedule, if the pandemic allows.
Yes.
Is that you guys would arrive on Wednesday, August 18th. So as Stephanie mentioned, our hope is that we can pick you up from the airport that day. And then we will hopefully go shopping on Thursday to a store called Target, one of my favorites. That will have things that you may need for your room. So everything from hangers to bedding, trash cans, food, clothing, it's all there. So we'll go there. On Friday, the 20th is a new international student orientation. So you don't have to register for that. We're already including you on the list of students who will be attending. And it's not just the F1 degree seeking students who will be there. We also have exchange students from our partner universities who will be there. So this fall, we should have hopefully about 40 exchange students from all over the world as well, who are coming to CofC either for a semester or a year. So it's nice to get to meet them. They're all brand new to Charleston too, so you get to meet that bigger community. We'll also over the weekend do campus tours and city tours, and then hopefully that Sunday is beach day. So we always go to the beach. So you can make sure you see one of the top attractions in Charleston. Monday, as long as weather's permitting, we'll be outside for an ice cream social and to wish you good luck on your first day of classes the following day. So we've got a lot of great things planned to welcome you to Charleston, and we hope that the pandemic will allow us to do all of those things. As of right now, we don't think that there'll be a quarantine requirement for students coming from abroad in August, but we're meeting and staying in touch with Student Health Services and the COVID-19 task force on campus to make sure that nothing changes. we're constantly referring to the Centers for Disease Control guidelines in the US to make sure that we are complying with those. As Tina mentioned, right now, the COVID-19 vaccine will most likely not be required for the fall. The college is doing a vaccination clinic. So our first one is today, and they're planning on vaccinating the first 350 students who were able to register today, but there should be vaccination clinics in the fall as well. So if you're not able to get the vaccine at home, but would like it, you should be able to do so in Charleston after your arrival. And then we hope to have lots of other fun events throughout the fall. So we usually go on a harbor cruise to check out Charleston from the water, which is one of my favorite things. It's a beautiful view of the city. We have a Thanksgiving dinner. So if you want to know what American Thanksgiving food is, apple pie and turkey and mashed potatoes and all that good stuff, we have that usually right around Thanksgiving. So that's a lot of fun. And then our office partners with the International Club, and they usually do lots of fun events as well. So typically in the fall, there's a 4-day weekend called Fall Break. So they've done some really fun adventures. We went whitewater rafting one year. We went zip lining in the mountains one year. They went to Washington, D.C. So that's usually a fun way to get to know some fellow students as well, and to get to explore other places outside of Charleston. And then our office is always here if you have questions, if you're feeling homesick, if you need to find resources on campus, if you have questions about your immigration status or working on campus, our office is always available to answer those questions. And we're on the edge of campus, but easy to get to. We're right next to the library, so close by if you need us.
Well, thanks, Melissa, Stephanie in Center for International Education, and our amazing international student ambassadors, Eva and Alex. So that wraps up the information that we have to share with you today. And at this time, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or put them in the chat, and we will remain online to answer them.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So I'm Gary. As you probably can guess, I'm not a student, right? So my daughter just got accepted and she's in school right now. We live in South Carolina, in Greenville, and we have an E1 visa. So we are not the typical, she's not the typical, let's say, foreign student. So we have been living here for more than 2 years. She's finalizing her IB program now at the Christchurch school. And one basic question from my perspective would be, I would be like to be treated like a resident, because I'm a resident here in the state of South Carolina. I've been paying taxes, right? So, well, the feedback I got from your organization is not quite clear if this is going to work out. So I need somebody to talk about the special situation we have right here now. So, I know there are some questions like, do you have a car here? Do you have a residence? Yes, I'm a homeowner, I have a car here. So let's say I'm pretty South Carolinian, and we're right now in the process of applying for an adjustment of status, which means green card, right? So I would really like to talk to somebody to sort this out. I think this is not something you cannot do online. So who
Sure.
would be my point of contact, please?
Yeah. I completely understand, and I'm happy to help you with that. We actually have Office of Legal Residency on our campus, and they are solely dedicated to assisting families with this.
Right.
So after this, I will make sure to email you. I know your daughter's name, and
Elena,
I can
yeah.
look her up in our system. So I'll make sure to reach
that
out
would
to
be
you.
really, really helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you a
I
lot.
can actually-
It's for us, it's completely new. As you can
Yeah.
guess, we are Germans, well, but we are getting integrated, adapted somehow, but we do not know really about how this will work out. So we need a little bit of help in the process.
Absolutely.
Tina, I put Bria's contact information in the chat to you guys, so you should be able to see her contact information in the message there.
Oh, okay, I already see it.
Okay,
Bria
good.
Roy.
Now, she is leaving the College of Charleston. I think
Good.
this is her last week. So I would highly recommend calling her maybe today.
Yeah,
or
I'll
tomorrow,
do that right away.
to try to get it finalized.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And there's a question in the chat if this session will be recorded. It is, so you can refer back to the information presented at any time. The link will be posted on our virtual event page. So you're welcome. Any other questions at this time? All right, well, we will stay on for a little bit to answer any individual questions that you may have. We'll stop recording, and thank you again for attending. And once again,